most famous board game is now Monopoly, the TV game. Here come the players. The red player, Chris. The gold player, Helen. And the green player, Victor. Here comes our hostess, Michelle Nicholas. And here's the host of Monopoly, Mike Reilly.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And folks, you've been in jeopardy for the past half hour. Well, the pressure continues as our three players battle it out to become real estate tycoons. It's just this easy, folks. You answer our crossword puzzle type clues, and we'll award you the price of the properties as they appear on the board. We're on go, so let's get right to it. We're going to move to Mediterranean Avenue, a $60 property, and the battle begins. All correct answers on this first block will begin with the letter D. The letter D. Here is your first clue, players. Baby's bum wrap. Helen.
Diaper.
Diaper is what we're looking for, Helen. You are the gold player. Let's turn Mediterranean Avenue gold. Deposit $60 into Helen's bank and move on to Baltic Avenue, also a $60 property. Your next clue. Dum-dum bird. Chris. Dodo. Dodo is what we're looking for, Chris. You're the red player. Let's turn Baltic Avenue red. $60 into Chris's bank. Victor, you're going to get just a moment to collect your thoughts while Helen and Chris battle for control of this monopoly. Chris, you just picked yourself up one property. You need another property to consolidate this monopoly. That means one more correct answer. Helen, you also have one property. You need one more correct answer. Take the monopoly if you are ready. Here is your clue. Shoulder snow. Chris. Dandruff. Dandruff is what we're looking for. Let's turn them both red. You take over the monopoly, we give you the value of all the properties involved. Those two $60 properties are worth $120 together. It's in your bank. We're going to move on to Oriental Avenue, a $100 property. Everyone is involved. Players, here is your clue. Sailor's suitcase. Chris, duffel. Duffel is the one we're looking for. Chris, you're quick to that buzzer. Oriental Avenue. Turn it red. $100 into Chris's bank. Let's move on to Vermont Avenue, a $100 property. For Vermont and the money, here is your clue. Cheap reed. Helen.
Dime store novel.
That's the one we're looking for, Helen. You weren't so sure. Let's turn Vermont Avenue gold and put $100 into Helen's gold bank. Moving on to Connecticut Avenue, the last available property on this side of the board, worth $120. For control of Connecticut and the money, here is your clue. Sizzled firecracker. Victor. Good. Done, Victor. You exploded into action. You're the green player. Let's turn Connecticut green. $120 into your bank, Victor. And right off the bat, everyone is involved in this monopoly. Players, concentrate. Here is your clue. Grin Groomer. Chris. Razor. Helen or Victor? Nobody. The time buzzer beat you. Dentist was the one we were looking for. Oh, and Chris, I got some bad news for you. That incorrect answer knocked you out of contention for control of this monopoly. Helen and Victor will now be playing for control of Oriental Avenue to give them two properties in a three-property monopoly. For Helen and Victor, here is your clue. John Opening. Helen.
So?
So is not it. Victor, you don't even have to bother. You automatically get control for the correct answer when you're battling for a monopoly. Dear John was what we're looking for. We're going to give you Oriental Avenue. We're going to scrape Chris out of there. Turn that one green. You now have two properties in a three-property monopoly. You're going to need one more property. That's one more correct answer to take this over. Helen, you have only one property. You need two more properties to take over that monopoly. That's two consecutive correct answers. Here's your next clue. Fraction bottom. Victor. Decimal. Decimal's not it, and Helen, that's automatically one for you. Denominator. Denominator is what we're looking for. The next correct answer takes control of this monopoly. Here is your next clue. College parking prize. Victor. Diploma. Diploma is what we're looking for, Victor. Very well done. Turn them all green, Victor. That monopoly is yours. We're going to add up the value of all those properties and deposit $320 into your bank. We're turning the corner, moving on to St. Charles Place, a $140 property. All correct answers on this block will begin with the letter M. Here is your next clue. Paperless pup. Helen. Mache is now looking for. Chris or Victor? Much is what we were looking for. Much. Helen, unfortunately, we have to penalize you for that incorrect answer. We have to take away the value of that property, which is $140. Nobody got St. Charles. We're going to slash the value in half. It's now worth $70. For $70 in control of St. Charles Place, here is your clue. Kimasabi cover-up. Chris, mask. That mask man, that's the one we're looking for, Chris, the Lone Ranger. You're red. Turn St. Charles Place red. $70 into Chris's bank. We're moving on to States Avenue worth $140, players. Here is your clue. Lazy syrup. Victor.
Maple.
Correct, Chris. Molasses. Molasses. There's the one we were looking for, Chris. Very well done. We're going to turn State Avenue red, Chris. Put $140 into your bank. Victor, we haven't forgotten about you, and I'm sorry to say it. That wrong answer cost you the value of the property. $140 comes out of your bank, but you can get it right back here on Virginia Avenue. $160 property for control of Virginia players. Here is your clue. Italian elbows. Chris. Macaroni. Macaroni is the one we're looking for, Chris. In short order, turn it red. That is a monopoly. Give him $160 for Virginia Avenue. And for control of the monopoly, give him another $440. Chris, you're on a tear. We're jumping to Pennsylvania Railroad tracks. We're going to St. James Place. $180 property. The correct answer is still to go with the letter M. Here is your clue. Holy fish. Helen. Mackerel. Holy mackerel, Helen. That's the one. Turn St. James Place gold. Put $180 into a bank. Let's move on to Tennessee Avenue. Also $180 property. Here is your clue. Aquino's envelope. Victor. Manila. Manila's the one we're looking for, Victor. You knew it was in there. You're the green player. Turn Tennessee green. $180 for you, Victor. We move on to New York Avenue, the last available property on this block with a $200 value. For New York Avenue, here is your clue. Maui nuts. Chris. Macadamia. Macadamia nuts are what we wanted. In a race to the buzzers, Chris. And everybody, once again, is involved in this monopoly. Players, put on your thinking caps. Here is your clue. It coins coins. Victor. Mint. Mint in a race to the buzzer, Victor. Very well done. And Victor, you have the option. Would you like to play against Helen or play against Chris? Play against Helen. You're going to play against Helen. You're going to scrape Chris right off of New York Avenue. You're going to turn New York green, Victor. It's now in your control. You have 2 properties and a 3-property monopoly. One more answer will do it. Helen, you're going to need 2 in a row to stop him. If you're ready, Helen and Victor, here is your clue. Bull baiter. Victor. Oh, automatically the credit goes to Helen. Matador. Matador was the one we were looking for. The next correct answer takes control of this monopoly. Here is your clue. Futures Fox. Victor. Michael J. Fox is the one we're looking for, Victor. Turn them all green. That is a monopoly. The value of those properties added to your bank is another $560 for you, Victor. Well, kids, at the end of this block, one of you is headed for $25,000 or possibly even $50,000 in bonus money. Well, be sure to return after these commercial messages, and we'll find out. Go up that.
And now, back to Monopoly and your host, Mike Reilly.
Thank you, Sario. Thank you. Oh, folks, I'm going to take a minute to catch my breath here, and while I'm doing that, we're going to say hello to tonight's hostess, Michelle Nicholas, while she introduces us to our contestants.
Our first player tonight is a red player, a nurse from Aiken, South Carolina. He's Chris Wright. Next is the gold player. He's an entrepreneur from Boston, Massachusetts. She's Helen Bradley. And our green player is a real estate broker from Newport Beach, California. He's Victor Vasquez. The red players, now back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Michelle. We'll see you in just a minute with the dice. Well, you gentlemen broke out of the gate fast. Chris, you ended that first couple of blocks in first place with $1,290. Victor, you're right behind with $1,040. Helen, you have a couple $100 and no properties. Let's get right back to the board and give you a chance to pick up some ground on these fellows. We're going to go right to Kentucky Avenue, a $220 property. Players, all correct answers on this block will begin with the letter F. Here is your clue. He hated his haircut. Chris. Samuel Clemens. Incorrect. Helen or Victor? Victor. Samson's the one we're looking for. You remember that story. Biblical trivia. Victor. Turn it green. $220 into your bank. Chris, we haven't forgotten you. Unfortunately, that wrong answer is going to cost you the value of the property. We're going to have to take $220 away from your bank, but I'll keep it right here next to me. You can come over and get it for Indiana Avenue. It's also a $220 property for control of Indiana players. Here is your clue. Suds mug. Victor. Oh, Helen.
Stein.
Stein is the one we're looking for. Victor, I know it was in there. It escaped you. Helen, let's turn it gold. Put $220 into your bank, and unfortunately, that $220 is going to come right out of Victor's. We're moving on to Illinois Avenue, a $240 property. Here is your clue. Laughing footwear phrase. Chris, sock it to me. Oh, don't tempt me, Chris. Let's turn Illinois Avenue red. Let's put $240 into Chris's bank. And once again, everybody's involved in this Monopoly. Players, it's getting competitive now. Hands next to your buzzers. Here is your clue. High school pickup. Victor, steady. Steady is what we're looking for, Victor. Very well done. Now, would you like to play against Chris or play against Helen? Helen. Going to play against Helen. It worked for you last time. Chris is going to scrape you up to Illinois Avenue. He doesn't care who he offends. We're going to turn that one green. Victor, you now have 2 properties and 3 property Monopoly. One more correct answer, we'll take it. Helen, you need 2 in a row. Here is your clue. Indian telegram. Victor. Smoke signals. Smoke signals. Heap big Monopoly for you, Victor. Turn them all green. Let's add up the value of those properties and put $680 into Victor's bank. We're moving on. Atlantic Avenue and $260 for the next correct answer. Here is your clue. Tree leaf. Helen. Stop. Watch who you're calling a stop. Let's turn it gold. $260 into your bank, Helen. We're moving on to Ventnor Avenue, a $260 property. For Ventnor, your clue. Sunday silence sheet. Oh, the buzzer beats it. Sure, now you have it. Saddle. Sunday silence the racehorse. Ventnor Avenue is still available. We're going to drop the value in half for $130. Your clue. Beach dream house. Chris, you just beat the buzzer. Sandcastle. Sandcastle's the one we wanted, Chris. Very well done. Just in the nick of time. Turn it red. $130 goes to Chris, and we move on to Marvin Gardens with a $280 price tag. Here is your clue, players. Cinderella ugly. Helen. Stepsister. The stepsister is the one we're looking for, Helen. You know nothing about that, I'm sure. Marvin Gardens turns gold. $280 goes to you, Helen. Victor, you're going to take a moment to collect your thoughts. You are out of this one. Chris, you've got just one. You're going to need 2 in a row to stop her. Chris and Helen, if you are ready, here is your clue. Snail, sans shell. Chris. Slug. Slug is the one we're looking for, Chris. That's one for you. The next correct answer takes the Monopoly. Mr. Helen, here is your clue. Sushi stick. Chris. Sake. Sake is the one we're looking for. You're sake to it there, Chris. Turn them all red. That is a Monopoly. The value of those properties added to your bank. Chris gives you another $800 in first place. We're going to turn the block into our high rent district. All correct answers on this block, players, will begin with the letter W. The letter W for Pacific Avenue and $300. Give me the correct answer to this clue. Which dude? Victor. Oh. Warlock. Oh. Warlock. The bell beat you, Chris. Warlock. Warlock is what we were looking for. Time had expired. You had the right answer, but unfortunately, Chris got in there with it, Chris. You're going to turn that red, put $300 into your bank, and Victor, unfortunately, I'm going to have to take $300 back from you. But that's okay. We're moving up to North Carolina, also a $300 property. You can pick it up right here for North Carolina. Here is your clue. Beaver Bro. Helen. Time. Victor. Wally. Wally is the one we were looking for. Wally Cleaver. Beaver Cleaver. Absolutely, Victor. Turn it green. You get your $300 back. Helen, I'm sorry to say it. The $300 comes from you. We're moving on to Pennsylvania Avenue. You can jump right into the thick of it with the correct answer here for Pennsylvania Avenue and $320. Here is your clue. Gobbler's Lucky Break. Helen.
Wishbone.
Wishbone, absolutely, Helen. You just beat the buzzer. Very well done. Turn Pennsylvania Avenue gold. $320 into Helen's bank. And players, once again, everybody is involved. Here is your next clue. TV's radio station. Chris. WKRP. In Cincinnati, Chris. Who do you want to play? Helen or Victor? I want to play Helen. You want to play Helen? You're a popular opponent. Victor, you're out of there. Chris, you've got 2. You need one more correct answer. Helen, you need 2 in a row. If you are ready, Chris and Helen, here is your clue. Boat trail. Chris, wait. Wait, Helen, time to wake up. Turn them red. That's another Monopoly for you, Chris. You control that entire corner. The value of the green, $920 into your bank. We're moving on to the last available Monopoly on our board for Park Place and $350. Here is your clue. Washington City. Victor. Washington, D.C. Incorrect. Helen or Chris? Chris. Chris, it buzzed in.
Walla Walla.
I'm sorry about that, Helen. Walla Walla is what we were looking for. He beat you to the buzzer. Victor, it's going to cost you $350. Chris, we're going to put $350 into your bank and move on to Boardwalk for Boardwalk and $400. Here is your clue. Cannonball Railroad. Chris.
Wabash Cannonball.
Wabash is the one we're looking for, Chris. Turn it red. That is a monopoly. Let's give him $400 for Boardwalk. $750 for taking over the whole monopoly. And at the end of this block, Chris, that puts you in a commanding first place. $4,960 and control of 5 monopolies on the board. While we're away, our landlords are going to use some of their money to improve their properties with houses and hotels. Houses cost $50 each. Hotels are $250, and we'll come right back and see how they spent their money after this.
Welcome back to Monopoly and the Big Money Round. Once again, here's Mike Reilly.
Thank you, Charlie. We are back, and so are you, and you're just in time for our Make You or Break You round. Now, players will all be traveling around the board together, and there are houses and hotels everywhere. Now, let's take a minute to see who built what where. Chris, you ended the last round with $4,960 and control of 5 monopolies on the board. You went with hotels everywhere. That cost you $3,250. Chris, you'll be starting this round with $1,710. Victor, you ended our last round with $1,320. You had control of 3 monopolies on the board. A couple of wrong answers cost you some dough, so you spent a lot of your money. You got some hotels in front of me and houses on your other 2 monopolies. It cost you $1,200. You'll have $120 to go into this round. Helen, you don't have any property, but you do have $980 and the best seat in the house. And as soon as we hit a railroad, you'll see the complexion of this thing change very quickly. Now, players will all be going around the board on the dice that Michelle rolls. When we land on your property, you'll collect some rent by answering a clue. If you're not able to come up with the correct answer, though, your opponents can sneak in and steal that rent. If you're ready, we're going to turn it over to Michelle. Michelle, roll those dice and let's get going. An 11, a hot hand to start us off. It's going to take us all the way around the first corner to St. Charles Place. Chris, that is yours with a hotel. What kind of money can you make on St. Charles Place, Carlio?
Pretty good sum here, $750.
$750 for you, Chris. I'm going to give you a clue, and it's for you alone. You'll have 3 seconds to answer it. No need to use your buzzer. You're ready. Your correct answer begins with the letter L. Your clue. National Mag. Liberty. Incorrect. Helen or Victor? Victor!
Lampoon.
National Lampoon was the one we were looking for. Victor snuck in there, stole that rent. Chris, we did not penalize you. You are the landlord. You did lose the rent, however. Let's go back to Michelle. Michelle, roll them. A 6. That is going to take us down to Community Chest. The 6 puts us on Community Chest. Let's take a look at the top card on the deck and see what it tells us to do. Street repairs due on Virginia. Owner pays $200. Chris, you're being delinquent. $200 from you. We're going to put that into free parking, though. When we land on free parking, someone's going to have an opportunity to take all that money. Roll those dice. A 4, a mellow roll. That's going to take us around the corner to Victor's property. Victor, good news for you. Kentucky Avenue with a hotel. I'm sure he's looking at a sizable rent there, Charlie O.
Well, you're right, Mike. It's $1,050.
$1,050 for you, Victor. This clue is for you alone. You have 3 seconds. No need to use your bell. Your correct answer begins with the letter K. Here is your clue. Shift finish. Kebab. Kebab, Victor. You examined all your options. You came up with it. Give him the money. Roll those dice. A 6. That's going to take us down the board to Ventnor Avenue. Chris, good news for you. That's in your control. With a hotel, what's Ventnor renting for these days, Charlie?
Nice tidy sum of $1,150.
$1,150 all for you, Chris, if you can give me the correct answer beginning with the letter K to this clue. Big Bucks Bingo. Helen or Victor? Helen.
Tito.
Tito's the one we're looking for, Helen. You snuck in there. You made yourself a tidy sum. Roll the dice, Michelle. Let's move on. A 7. That's going to take us around the corner to Pennsylvania Avenue. Chris, another opportunity to make that rent. In fact, you're going to make a sizable rent here. Charlie, what are you looking at?
How's this sound, Mike? $1,400.
It sounds sizable indeed. $1,400 for you, Chris, for the correct answer, beginning with the letter T. Your clue. Swami Top.
Turban.
Turban's the one we're looking for. Let's give him the money. Let's go to Michelle and roll those dice. An 11, a big roll. That is going to take us past go. And good news, Helen, that is the Reading Railroad. Give everyone $200 for pass and go. And now, players, that opens the door to a hostile takeover. I will give you all a toss-up clue. The player who rings in with the correct answer can take that Reading Railroad to any monopoly on the board in an effort to wrest that from the control of another player. If you are ready, here is your clue. Your correct answer begins with the letter N. Your clue, Ray or Jean? Victor. Norma Ray, Norma Jean, that's what we're looking for, Victor. Chris has a lot of property. Where would you like to go, Victor?
Atlantic Avenue.
You're going to take that Reading Road to the Atlantic, Ventnor, and Marvin Gardens Monopoly and try and take over that entire block. Victor, it's a 3-property monopoly. I need 3 consecutive correct answers. If you're ready, your correct answer begins with the letter K. Your clue. Proposal preparation. Kneeling is what we're looking for, Victor. The bad news is you don't get the monopoly. The worst news is you landed on Atlantic. That's 1 minute to go in the round. You stopped on Atlantic Avenue. You're going to have to pay Chris the rent. What's he going to have to pay there, Charlie?
$1,150.
Ooh, $1,150 out of your bank into Chris's. That hurts with time running out. Michelle, let's roll the dice. Let's make him a little more money. Snake Eyes puts us on Waterworks. We land on utility players. We play for 100 times to roll the dice. For $200 easy dollars, give me the correct answer, beginning with the letter E to this clue. Hillary Height. Chris.
Edmund.
Edmund is incorrect. Helen or Victor?
Everest.
Mount Everest is the one we're looking for. $200 goes right to you, Helen. We're going to have to take that $200 away from you, Chris. That wrong answer cost you. Roll those dice. 11. That's going to take us all the way around to Boardwalk. Big money for you, Chris, with time running out. What's the rent on Boardwalk these days, Charlie? I'm afraid to ask.
This is big time. $2,000.
$2,000, Chris. Hoffman's Chewy Rolls.
Tootsie.
Tootsie is the one we're looking for, Chris. $2,000 into your bank. And that was the end of the round. And at the end of that round, Victor, you got hurt in the money department. You ended that with just $970. But we're going to sell off your houses and hotels. Add up the value of that, put it in with your score to give you a final round total of $2,170. Helen, you have $2,530, but unfortunately no assets to add into it. Chris, you are going to run away with this one. $6,060. We're going to cash in all that hotels on just 5 monopolies. Add up the value, put it in with your score to give you an ending total of $9,310. And Chris, you just won yourself a shot at $25,000. Chris, come on over here. $9,310, Chris, well done. And when we come back, Chris is going to take a shot at $25,000. Come on back and watch him do it. Thank you. Thanks for coming back to root Chris on as he goes for $25,000 or maybe even $50,000. Chris, your fate is in your hands. Michelle, let him have them. So are the dice. We've already done the hard work, Chris. We've asked you to place 4 go-to-jails on the board, beginning with 1 in the second row, and that one went on the electric company, and 1 in the third row on the railroad, and 2 in the last row, bearing in mind that the go-to-jail in the corner is still in play, and you went to North Carolina Avenue and the Boardwalk. Chris, you have 5 rolls of the dice. Every time you roll doubles, we'll give you an extra roll. If you can make it all the way around the board without hitting your go-to-jail and pass go, we'll give you $25,000. If you can land exactly on go, we'll give you $50,000. Every time you pass a square, we're going to give you $100. You can stop at any point and keep the money you won. If you're ready, Chris, pick them up, put them down. Let's see a big number for you. Let's go, Chris. Roll them. Roll them. Let's see some... It's a good start. It's going to take you to income tax, but it's not going to cost you a nickel, Chris. You have 4 rolls left. Your only bad roll is an 8. You got double $100. You're not even thinking about it. You're going for it. Roll them, Chris. Let's see something good. Oh, an 8 right off the top, Chris. That's the one you didn't want. But you already won over $9,000 on today's show, Chris, and that's not bad for a day's work. We're out of time. We got to run, but we will see you next week on Monopoly. Peace and good cheer. Have a good week. Good night.
Sunday and This Week with David Brinkley as the crisis continues in the Mideast. Secretary of State Baker and Turkish President Özal on options for dealing with Saddam Hussein. Monday on ABC Sports, Phil Simms and the New York Giants take on the defending AFC East champion Buffalo Bills. Live coverage of this NFL preseason special begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific here on ABC Sports. Now stay tuned for China Beach next.